What's up? It's the Real Down to Mars girl here, and you are watching a collaborative video between me and my best friend Nora. This is Year of Good Music 2022. Year of Good Music is an annual recap of our personal favorite releases from this year, the songs we discovered, the songs we rediscovered, and our overall thoughts on the music that came out this year. And we wanted to just share with you guys the music that we were obsessed with, the music we weren't obsessed with, our favorite releases, our thoughts on Renaissance. And in order to get the full picture of the video, you have to watch both videos. So once you're finished watching this one, check out Nora's video on her channel. I'll drop the description link below in the description box. I'll drop the link in the description box below, and let's get right into it. So I highly recommend you get some snacks, something to drink, something to smoke if you do, some wine. Let's chillax. It's a rainy day in LA. I'm chilling. Obviously, I got my sunglasses on because I'm just extra like that. And I feel more comfortable like this, okay? I am very shy, and the glasses just help me break this barrier. I don't know, it's like my superhero thing, like, you know, like you don't anyway, let's get into it. So the categories that we're going to be talking about today are our favorite songs, our songs that we discovered, songs that we rediscovered, our favorite playlists that we made, favorite collabs, albums we didn't love, our Spotify and Apple recap, our favorite albums, Renaissance, our favorite concerts that we attended, and lastly, albums that we missed. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm very excited to talk about this because I discovered so much good music this year, and like all of my favorites dropped, and like I'm just so pleased and so satisfied. Right now we're listening to my 2022 Spotify recap playlist that has all the songs I was obsessed with this year. I can also link this in the description if you want to just like vibe out. It's very personal to me, but maybe I'll share it with you guys if there's enough like demand. Okay, so I'm gonna smoke a little bit. I got like 2 rolled, so don't trip. I don't know if I mentioned, but it's New Year's Eve too. We're vibing out. Let's have a good time. Happy New Year for those who celebrate. The Lunar New Year is coming up, and so is the astrological New Year. Let's relax and have a good time, yeah? The song you're listening to is This Must Be Heaven by Brainstorm, and it's one of my favorite songs from this year. It's one of the songs I discovered, and I think it's either from 1977 or 1975. Let me double check. 77, which leads to my theory that 1977 is another year of good music. It's one of my favorite years in music. I love 1977. It's the year my mom was born too. It's one of my favorite years in music. Okay, so let me tell you about my favorite songs. Okay? So my favorite songs of this year, in no particular order, are Alarming by Ojerime, Gonna Bleach My Eyebrows by Alameda, Bad Habit by Steve Lacy, Jackie Brown by Brent Faiyaz, for obvious reasons, Toni-ann Sing by Burna Boy and Popcorn, Oh My Love and Meta Angel by FKA Twigs, Church by Mariah the Scientist, Caliber by Coco Jones, Despues de la Playa by Bad Bunny, Mercury by Steve Lacy. I love Skin Tight by Raven Lenae and Steve Lacy. And last but not least, my favorite Beyonce songs, Virgo's Groove. Heated. Heated was my top song played on this record, on Renaissance. I love Pure Honey too, but we'll get into the Beyonce album a little bit later. Now, those are my favorite songs that were released in 2022. And so now, let's get into the songs that I discovered this year. These are songs that came out prior to 2022, from all across every single era. And they're just songs that I discovered this year that I never knew before. And this is one of them. This Must Be Heaven by Brainstorm. Another song that I really, really loved this year was Peace of Mind by Wendell Harrison. And that song actually cured my depression. It really healed me because the lyrics were so healing and the music just felt so good, and it just like came to me at a time when I really needed confirmation that things were going to get better. And that's what I love about music, and that's what I love about all the music that was released this year. You know what I mean? Even Beyonce shit, which we'll get into. Her shit saved my life, bro. So I really love this song. And a couple other songs that I discovered this year was Paradise by Gene Adebombo, and I Love Him by the Friends of Distinction, Peace of Mind by Wendell Harrison, Cry of a Dreamer by the Silvers, This Must Be Heaven by Brainstorm, I Don't Want to Play Around by A Spectrum, Intergalactic Love Song by the Diddies, I Love You for All Seasons by the Fuzz, Wanna Be Your Man by Prophet, You Can Fly on My Aeroplane by We, Tornado by Minako Yoshida, I Need You by Maze, Return to Cherry by Part Time, Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. All of these songs are released prior to the 80s except for Return to Cherry by Part Time and Wanna Be Your Man by Prophet. Those two songs are from like 2018. But everything else is from like the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, the 80s, and from like different parts of the world, the UK, like Japan. I went down a Korean jazz rabbit hole this year too. I completely forgot about that. And a Japanese jazz rabbit hole. It was like actually the most amazing thing. But that's how I found Tornado by Minako Yoshida. So good. Let me play that song. That shit is fucking fire. She's a genius. It's one of my favorite songs from this year. And we'll listen to a little bit of it. I ran out of my actual favorite rolling papers, so now I'm smoking raws, and it's actually the most traumatic experience ever. I hate these papers so much. So I'm really not enjoying myself right now. It sucks, but whatever. Like, listen to this bass, like the piano, every moment. I discovered some heat this year, bitch. Like, please stop playing with me. Like, this is incredible. Hope you guys are vibing out and enjoying yourselves. Makes me want to learn Japanese. Okay, now I'll play another couple songs that I discovered. Which ones do we want to play? Let me play I Love You for All Seasons. I discovered this song this year. This is I Love You for All Seasons by The Fuzz. And I absolutely love this song. I was in my romantic bag this year. I'm always in my romantic bag. I love you with a freshness. the songwriting, the vocals, like this shit. Love you when the summer sun would choose it to stay. I don't know how to explain. What's another song I discovered this year? Which one of the ones that I really fucked with? Let me play. Did I say Bad Bitch Walking by Shabazz Palaces? I hope I did, because I discovered that this year, and that shit's fire. That's a newer one. Let me play Cry of a Dreamer. Cry of a Dreamer, baby. Is it in this playlist? Okay, I guess it's not in here, but I discovered the song called Cry of a Dreamer. And then to go back real quick, I want to talk about Gonna Bleach My Eyebrows, which was one of my favorite songs from this year that came out. I think it came out December 2021, but I still count it as 2022. But this was my theme song, literally. I love the drum and bass, like, I love drum and bass actually, it's so good. But recently I just don't care. And I finally feel alive now, and I'm gonna bleach my eyebrows, and I don't care. And I literally bleached my hair and my eyebrows. New bitch, new car, new house, everything manifested. So when I listen to music, it's to manifest. I don't listen to music for bullshit. I take the shit very seriously, bitch. I listen to shit that I can repeat, that's gonna manifest in my life. Affirmations, period. But we'll get into that a little bit more later, okay? Now let me talk about the songs that I rediscovered. And let me put on one of my favorites. Cause bitch, y'all remember this. Ugh, my email be going off like fucking crazy. I'm a new bitch with a new style and a new house, and I'ma dye my hair. Where the fuck is that song at? What song am I looking for? I could have sworn I saw it. There it is. Oh, and then I found the song. And I also need to play another song that I like rediscovered this year, okay? Bitch. When you get out of jail, I'm gonna have some fun. Fun, natural fun. Okay. I rediscovered this year. Genius of Love by Tom Tom Club. There's no beginning and there is no end. Okay, now I'm very high. We're about to vibe. Let's go, let's go. So this is one of the songs I discovered this year, or rediscovered this year, along with, I'm just gonna search them in the playlist because I know they're all here. Along with Crush by Solange. I rediscovered this. And then also, bitch, guess what? I came up on this CD in motherfucking Lamert, like the weekend of Juneteenth. I was just like strolling through Lamert. This dude was selling CDs, and I came up on this whole thing, and it has the original booklet and everything with all the creative direction and all of the amazing art direction, and it's so beautiful, you know what I mean? And I fell in love with this song again, and I had found the CD like prior but I fell in love with the song. Like, it was like on my Discover Weekly Spotify playlist, and then it came up and I was like, oh my god. And then also what was so cute about this is she has this solo star thing, right? And it's a website that you can go to register a star, which is so cute. Like, we're being robbed of the experience with these like CDs and shit, like on some real, on some real. I'm telling you. So Crush was one of the songs. I rediscovered NERD. Like, I really just like dived into NERD again, and like I was obsessed with like Run to the Sun and like Tape You and like all of the Snoop Dogg shits, and like it was just like I rediscovered Let's Get Blown and like the Snoop and Pharrell collabs, and like, you know you want some. Like, I just got back into my early 2000s bag this year, thanks to Nora, which you should continue to watch her video if you want to see the full picture of your good music. I hope you're enjoying yourself so far. Doja Cat, So High. Heartbreaker by Mariah Carey and Jay-Z. Genius of Love by the Tom Tom Club. Novocaine by Frank Ocean. I Just Died by Amory. Street Lights by Kanye West. Pillow Talk by Sylvia Robinson. Inside by Steve Lacy. I dived and rediscovered Diamond Life and Promise by Sade, the full albums. Feel No Ways by Drake. If you know how I feel about Drake, you know why I make that face. Moving on, let me play a couple of the songs that I rediscovered this year. You know you want some more, girls, so come on. Can I get more thrills? You know you want some more, girls, so come on. Okay, rediscovered Streetlights by Kanye. This nigga was spitting. Frank Ocean, Novocaine, like, you know what I mean? So High by Doja, like, let's down. And you know what part of Novocaine it was? To be just like moments passing. Know my destination. And the street lights falling. Moments passing. The cabin. Destination. Next, Novocaine by Frank Ocean. Yeah. And then I'll play about maybe one more. Let me do Pillow Talk by Sylvia because that's my fucking shit. And then maybe Heartbreaker by Mariah. Hey, hey. I think I started something. I got what I wanted, and I can't feel nothing. Superhuman, even when I'm fucking bad, bruh. But yeah, bruh. Zero emotion, muted emotion, pitch corrected. I blame it on the model bra with the Hollywood. Stripper booty with the rack lag. Novocaine by Frank Ocean. And like I was saying earlier, you know what part of Novocaine it was? We'll get to it. I'm also gonna play Pillow Talk by Sylvia Robinson. I think it's that is something. Got what I wanted. Then I can't feel nothing. Superhuman. Even when I'm fucking Viagra popping. Auto tuning. Muted emotion. Pitch corrected. Computed emotion. I blame it on the model broad with the Hollywood smile. Stripper booty with the rack like wow. Brain like Berkeley. I went to see Jigga. Z-Trip. Perfect. You can see on the ice gold lawn. Okay? But it's really this part. Love me, making pretty love to me, pretty. Pity, pity. Oh, I can't feel a thing. Can't feel a thing. Can't feel a thing. Can't feel. I can't feel. Novocaine. Can't feel. Novocaine for the pain, Feel. Oh. Novocaine. It's really that part for me. Yeah, as you can tell. I feel that. I feels that. Heavy. This is another song I rediscovered this year. This is one of my favorite songs ever. Hey, baby, let me see. I don't care what your friends are about to say. What your friends all say is fine, but it can't compete with this pillow talk of mine. Ooh, you can't find love on a two-way street. It takes two to tango, takes two to even compete. Okay? Listen, this is a very, yeah. Let's continue. So the next category is my favorite music videos. My favorite music videos from this year, number one is DMB by A$AP Rocky. That video was absolutely incredible. Like, it was so artistic. It was so beautiful. It was such a wonderful proclamation of love, of romance. Like, I watched that video a few times and I just felt so much love. You could tell there was so much love in the creation process, and that it was a way for them to immortalize their love. Like, it just was such a beautiful video to me. So that was number one. Bad Habit by Steve Lacy. I loved how simple it was, and it takes you on a journey through all these little colors. You know, they like kept it very simple in terms of like set design and shit, but like the colors in the background and like the camera angles were very dope. All of the Weeknd's projects were amazing. All of them, every single one of them. All of the Weeknd's visuals for Dawn FM were absolutely incredible. Every single visual for Dawn FM was perfect. My favorite from the entire batch would have to be Out of Time, because it was referencing the film Lost in Translation, which is absolutely beautiful. And I love when music videos can like intertwine film and music in a way that is like referencing something in the past, you know? I loved the Oh My Love video by FKA Twigs, and then Bleach My Eyebrows by Alameda was so fire because it was also referencing Waiting to Exhale, the whole scene where the car was on fire. So those are my favorite music videos from this year. The next category is favorite playlists that I made this year. I feel like now we're gonna start running through it. My favorite playlist that I made this year would have to probably be A Portal to a New Dimension. A Portal to a New Dimension, Peace of Mind, Spring Bling, all 3 volumes that me and Nora collaborated on, as well as Fronto number 2. And I love the Spring Bling playlist because that was when we were just in our early 2000s bag. We just were like listening to a lot of Mariah Carey, a lot of Jamie Foxx, a lot of Whitney Houston. We just were listening to a lot of just the music from our childhood and creating playlists. And it was at a time when I personally was like feeling very down and I didn't have much hope for the future, but I knew things were gonna get better. But like revisiting my favorite music from my childhood with one of my best friends, you know, like it was just such a healing experience. And I'm so grateful for her that we were able to collaborate on those playlists, and like they were well received by the people who listened to them. And we got all the cover art from Flying Famous Black Girls, which is our personal favorite archivist and our favorite Instagram page. She's fucking amazing. She showcases Black beauty from the 90s, 70s, 60s, all the way till now, of Black women in the creative industries. And it's so amazing to just see, because I hope to one day be on that page, you know? So that was my favorite playlist with Nora. I loved A Portal to a New Dimension because I feel like I really discovered a whole bunch of new music, and I created a very fun and healing playlist that was so dope in terms of cover art. I'll insert it here and I'll play a couple songs from it, and I like was just exploring different sounds and stuff, you know? And this was one of the songs, my nephews are awake now. This is one of the songs that opened up. It's called I'm Every Sparkly Woman by Anna Roxanne. And I love this song. It's so uplifting. And this was just a playlist that I made to kind of like heal me. And it was just a collection of songs that made me feel good in a time where I needed some reminders, you know? Next category is our favorite collabs from this year. And some of my favorite collabs I would say are Sunshine by Steve Lacy and Fouché, Toni-Ann Singh by Popcorn and Burna Boy, Skin Tight by Raven Lenae and Steve Lacy, Ecstasy by Raven Lenae and Steve Lacy, Tomorrow by Glorilla and Cardi B. Who else? I don't know. I think that's it. Now, this might be where it gets a little lengthy again. So, albums that I didn't necessarily resonate with. Let's not say albums I didn't love. Albums I didn't resonate with. And I'll explain the reasons. So firstly, let's talk about SOS. I personally didn't resonate with SOS because if you watch my other YouTube video that I just uploaded, which was my 2022 recap video, where I talk about my year, you'll see that I talked about how I've been single for a minute. I've been working on myself. I haven't been dating like that. Like I've casually dated, but I haven't like gotten attached to anybody. And with her album, I just felt like it just wasn't the content and subject matter that resonates to where my mind frame is right now, and like my focus is more so on like long-term goals. I'm not really pressed about these niggas. I really don't give a fuck. They're not hurting my feelings. Like, I don't think I'm a loser. I think I'm the shit, like clearly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just didn't resonate with it. And like listening to the project, it kind of felt like Control Part 2. There's like songs on there that just feel like Control Part 2 songs. Like Nobody Gets Me kind of feels like Normal Girl. And like even on the production side of things, there's like songs as I was listening to it where it was like she would go into certain vibes like production wise, but there was like repetition, but the sequencing was off. Like I feel like the album could have been sequenced better, and then maybe like less songs, but also it didn't hit for me. And that's fine, and I'm not saying it's a bad project. I think she was in her bag. I think she lyrically was like, she's an amazing writer and creative, you know, but it just was not for me, you know what I mean? So I didn't really resonate with that one. And Kendrick is in this category too, unfortunately. I just feel like with that album I wasn't necessarily ready for it per se. Like I know it had been a minute since we listened to Kendrick and shit, but I don't think that I don't think that um I just don't think that I was ready for it when I listened to it, and maybe I'll have a different opinion, and I'm going to listen to it and definitely like do a video where I talk about the project and how I feel about it, you know, shit like that. But the reason why I feel like I didn't resonate with it, and not saying that it was bad, like obviously I loved it. I loved it. I think it was really dope, but I listened to it a couple times and I haven't really went back to it because I feel like I just wasn't ready to consume the project. And I feel like I listened to it because I felt like I needed to, because I'm like, no, I need to listen to this, but when I listened to it, it didn't hit, and I don't know. But I know there's bangers on there. The videos for the project are really dope. Like I had watched the Count Me Out video. I think I watched the Rich Spirit video. And he has a video where Tiana Parker is in it, and that shit's fire. I love Tiana Parker. She's one of my favorite Instagram models. Like, not even Instagram models. This bitch is like editorial. This bitch is like the fucking Naomi Campbell, the supermodel of this generation. This bitch is that bitch, not even Instagram. Excuse me, I would never disrespect her like that. Like, let me actually delete that because this bitch is beyond that. I'm sorry. So yeah, like it just was that. And then also the We Cry Together song. That shit, I actually did not like that song. And I guess like it was emotional and shit, but that shit was like traumatic as fuck. Like I just did not like it. I just didn't. I'm sorry. And I know this probably is gonna like make some people really mad. Y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be sad. Because no, I will never get those 5-6 minutes back for that song. Fuck you, nigga. Like, no. Absolutely not. Another album that didn't really connect with me, I think, is Ari Lennox's album, Age, Sex, Location. And I also didn't really like the art direction. Like, the name should have had a different artistic direction. I feel like she could have done much more to like really tie into that theme that she was really going for, ASL, you know, like age, sex, location. Like it could have been more of like a MySpace AIM approach, chat room art direction. Like I loved the cover art, but I feel like it just was a disconnect. And the album was actually really good. I did enjoy the songs. I like Hoodie. I like a few songs from there. I can't necessarily place which ones. Because I really didn't listen to it enough to really get into it, but like every time I listened to it, I was like either driving or like I was like doing something that I couldn't see the song title, so I can't really say. But I also just checked and I really did like the song with Chloe. I loved Chloe's vocals. Her vocals were so amazing. The way that she performed, it was like we hadn't seen her perform her vocals like that since Chloe and Halle. Like none of her solo shit sounded like that. She's always been doing the pop shit, but like the way she delivered vocally was so fucking amazing. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. So I'm gonna be inserting my Spotify and Apple recap. I'm gonna do it so you guys can see what my favorite songs were. and like the order of them. Okay, so this is my Spotify recap. I listened to a lot of oldies on here. I rediscovered a lot of my faves and, just like long lost music. Listened to a lot of 70s music, a lot of jazz, a lot of sade. One thing you will see across my Apple and Spotify is that I remain consistent. Okay. With Spotify, it's more of like my crate digging process. I discover music there. I find new artists, I find old artists. With Apple Music, I'm listening to full bodies of work and albums. My top project on Apple was Renaissance, and I listened to a lot of Sade on Apple Music. I listened to a lot of Steve Lacy. As you can see, some of the songs I mentioned are in both playlists because I remain consistent. That's one thing about me, babe. I'm gonna be consistent. I also want to note that I purposely didn't listen to Renaissance on Spotify because I knew it would fuck up my algorithm. I only listened to Renaissance on Apple Music because I just knew I was gonna like play it, and if I played Renaissance on Spotify, then my whole on repeat playlist would have been Renaissance, and then there would have been no diversity, and I would have been bored. You know what I mean? But we'll get more into Renaissance later. Okay, so the next category is our favorite albums. Now, remember, like I said, this is a collaborative video, and if you want to get the full picture of Year of Good Music, you need to check out Nora's YouTube video as well. And let's get into it. So, my favorite albums from 2022, in no particular order: Dawn FM, Gemini Rights, Caprisongs, Hypnos, Ramona Park Broke My Heart by Vince Staples, Love for Rent by Smino, Wasteland by Brent Faiyaz, an honorable mention, Coco Jones' debut EP. Now, I'll briefly get into why I loved each of the albums. Dawn FM and Caprisongs dropped at the top of the year in January. Dawn FM was like the start of this dance craze, and it had that house and electronic funky vibe, and like we loved it, and I was obsessed, and I loved that album. I loved the storytelling. I loved that Jim Carrey was narrating it, and I love that the concept of the album is like you're riding on the roadway to hell, and Dawn FM is the radio station that's playing as souls are transitioning into the afterlife. That's the concept. That's why he looks old. And if you watch all the videos, it tells you that. It shows you that. And it tells a bigger picture story. And it's amazing. It's fucking amazing. Now, I loved the music on there. My favorite songs are Every Angel is Terrifying. I love that little like bit narration. Provocative. Like all of those little moments, like, yeah, Out of Time. I love the Quincy Jones interlude. I love Take My Breath. I didn't love Take My Breath when it first came out, to be honest. Like, it was very but kind of like with Break My Soul. Like, Break My Soul sounds better in the context of Renaissance, and Take My Breath is kind of the same. Gasoline, like that album is just amazing. Yes, top 5. Gemini Rights. Maybe we should be playing songs from them. Should I play something from the weekend real quick? Are y'all in a rush? I'm chilling. But let's play something from Dawn FM. Let's play something from Dawn FM, bitch. And getting back just a little. Just a little. Every Angel is Terrifying. My legs hurt. Ow. We're gonna get into this shirt in a little bit. Cortex. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch. Jocelyn Hernandez voice. My least favorite song I would have to say is Here We Go Again. Like, I really love that song, but I don't like Tyler the Creator's verse. I just have to say. I love the Weeknd's verse on that song though, and like how it transitions from Out of Time into that. Okay, so let's get into Steve Lacy now, though, because y'all get the point. I fucked with it. Y'all, because I really have to say something about Steve Lacy's project. Let's have a moment with this song, okay? The opening track, literally.
Baby, you got something in your nose. Sniffing that K, did you feel the hole? Hope you find peace with yourself. New boyfriend ain't gon' fill the void. Do you even really like this track? Take away the drugs, would you feel the noise? More and more you try to run away. You fucking yourself, do you feel the toy?
Looking for a bitch cause I'm over boys. Would you be my girlfriend, baby? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Something turned me on.
Smoking made me.
Cause I'm on it. When I heard this for the first time, I literally got so emotional. I've never sniffed K before, but this shit hit different. Just know he dragged the fuck out of me. But it resonated with me on a different level. Different than SZA's project, because SZA's was like, I'm a loser. Like, this was just like me reflecting on how I've been in the past romantic failures and things that didn't align with me anymore. You know what I mean? Loved it. Okay, so another album that I really loved from this year was, like I said, Caprisongs by FKA Twigs. Absolutely amazing. I loved Hypnos by Raven Lene. The production was so beautiful, like her voice, her vocals, just everything, like perfect. Coco Jones's project, honorable mention. Vince Staples, Ramona Park broke my heart. And then let's talk about Smino's Love for Rent, because I got to hear the album early. I got to go to the listening party like 3 months before it came out with my friends, and it was so amazing. And like when I was there, it just was a vibe. Like you just knew Smino was unfuckwittable, but it even showed his artistry, his growth. And then like my favorite song upon being there was Euphoria with Cruza. And then like hearing it after, I'm like, oh my god, I love that song. No, this song is amazing. This is Sunshine by Steve Lacy and Fouché, which is one of my favorite collabs from this year. Hey, saying my ex like my name ain't Steve, and some dopamine after me peace. Anytime you need, I wish I was criticize me all you want. Where you are, where you are, where you are. Yeah, Euphoria. So those are my favorite albums of this year. And obviously, last but not least, Renaissance. Renaissance is my favorite album of the year. It's the album that had me in a chokehold. Dawn FM had me in a chokehold till Caprisongs dropped. But then Dawn FM and Caprisongs were both like up there. And then Hypnos dropped, and then I had those in a chokehold. Then Steve Lacy dropped and destroyed all of that. And then 3 weeks later, Beyonce dropped Renaissance, and then I couldn't get enough. And I think that Renaissance destroyed me. I was talking to my friend Sunny about this shit. We feel like Renaissance broke us. Like this bitch broke me. Like she broke me. Now let's talk about Beyonce. Because is it just me, like, or did this bitch break you? And remember, like I said, this is a two-part video. If you want to get the full picture of Renaissance and our overall review of the album, you need to watch the video on Nora's channel. I'll drop the link in the description box. Check it out, okay? Let's get into Renaissance, bitch. Okay. I want to smoke a little bit. These motherfuckers ain't stopping me. 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 I'm about to get ignorant. Yeah. I pull up in these clothes, look so good. Cause I'm in now. You know all these songs sound good. Cause I'm on now. Deadass. Deadass. I'm deadass.
Just a reminder.
Now, Renaissance. The album of the year. No doubt about it, no questions about it. Anybody who says otherwise is fucking tripping. And like, I'm not saying nobody else dropped dope shit, but Beyonce took the crown for best album of the year. Period. Across genres. Now, this album is absolutely incredible, and it is for many reasons because, for one, it's a collection of all of her past albums. It's the album that has the most growth, and I feel like, who can you say that about? How many artists can you say that continuously elevate, continuously get better with time as they grow? And with this album, you can hear how she's like elevating sounds that she had in Destiny's Child, elevating sounds that she had on Dangerously in Love, B-Day, like every single project, for self-titled. Like, there's songs on Renaissance that are elevations of her vocal ability, her songwriting ability, her storytelling ability, her sonic production ability. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a perfect album, and like the transitions are seamless, which is why it's so hard to get away from. And I feel like this bitch broke me because I don't get a dopamine hit from music like I used to. Like, the music is not hitting the same. Like, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of insane. It's kind of fucking insane that this bitch did this. What did she do? Could somebody explain to me what she did? The fact that like everybody's listening to this project every single fucking day. I can't get enough. Even if I don't want to listen to it, I'm listening to this shit. Because it's that fucking good. And it's the shit that cured my depression. It cured my depression. It cured me. Yes, it did. Yeah. It sure did. Now, let me just tell you about songs that stood out on my first listen and why. The whole project was just like a whole journey, and I just was like so happy because it was exactly what I needed. It was that grown and sexy boss bitch energy. I'm that girl, alien superstar, you know? Like, that's what it was. And so the songs that really stuck out for me was all of them, number one, but like, I remember hearing Church Girl, and the lyrics for Church Girl had me like ready to cry. And then she said, drop it like a thotty, drop it like a thotty. And I said, okay. And I started shaking ass and throwing ass. But the lyrics were so healing and like cozy, comfortable in my skin, cozy with who I am. I love myself, goddamn. You know? I'm too classy for this world, okay? Alien Superstar has this very Prince-esque vibe to it. Break My Soul in the context of this album hits better because of the transition from energy into Church Girl. I love Plastic Off the Sofa. Virgo's Groove was very like bomb, but it didn't like hit me how great it was until like a couple weeks into my listen. And now I feel like Virgo's Groove might be my favorite. On my first listen though, I didn't really like Move, but Move became like a song that grew on me. Heated was a vibe. I never really liked Thick. All Up in Your Mind was kind of like, you know? But America Has a Problem, yes. Pure Honey, on first listen, that girl, because it was so cunty. It was so cunty. It just had this cunty vibe to it, you know? And then Summer Renaissance, because she sampled, she interpolated Donna Summer's I Feel Love, you know? Now, the top songs from Renaissance were heated on my Apple Music recap. But I would say my favorites are Virgo's Groove, Pure Honey, Heated, and then America Has a Problem has had me in a chokehold, like for a while. Now I just listen to Thick because it's there and I just be running the project through, but like everything about this project is amazing, like literally everything. Now, I really don't understand why we don't have visuals yet, and it actually upsets me because like, babe, what's going on? Like, I'm actually concerned. Like, is everything okay? Like, where are visuals? Where are they? Where are they, Beyonce? Huh? You know, like, I don't know what she's doing, but I need something. I need a visual. I need a music video. I need a film. I need it's upsetting because I don't know what she's doing, but she's making us wait clearly. But absolutely love Renaissance. It's one of my favorite. It's my favorite album of the year. It's my top album of the year, literally, because nothing else had me like this. Nothing else. Nothing else. Now, let's move on to our last few categories, which is my favorite concerts of this year. Keep in mind, if you want to see the full picture of this video, Year of Good Music 2022 review, check out the video on Nora's channel, which is in the description box below. And yeah, let's talk about my favorite concerts of this year. So my favorite concert of this year would probably have to be one of the most iconic shows of the year, which was Cortex coming to the US for their first ever tour with Jazz is Dead. And this was actually really iconic because I was fortunate enough to start working with them right before the concert. I had bought tickets to the show, and then I got hired to work with them, and I was able to help the band collaborate with the team on filming the concerts. I was just like hanging out with the band, took them to dinner. It was just such a fun time, and it was so iconic. I got to actually see them 6 times perform because I worked the event when I was initially going to only see them once, and they played 6 sold out shows with us. And it was just actually, well, they played 7 sold out shows. They played 6 sold out shows in LA, 7, the 7th one being in New York. And we are the people who got them here for the first US show ever. And Cortex is a band from the 70s whose song I can play. I wish I can transition these songs better. And I got to see them live, and I got to like chill with them and talk to them and bond with them. And the legendary alameda from Cortex, the founder, and they released this album called Chapeau Bleu in 1975. And the song that we're playing now was sampled by MF Doom on his record One Beer. And because of that, his music, Cortex's music, reached a new generation of hip-hop lovers. They were sampled by Dilla, Madlib, like they've been sampled across hip-hop in so many songs. And it was just such a historic moment to have them in the US for their first ever tour. And it was iconic to witness. So it was so iconic. The next person whose show that I loved that I got to see was Hailu Mergia. And he's an Ethiopian jazz musician who I got to see perform at the Regent. And this is some of his music. He's so amazing. His music is so healing. And what I realized from a TikTok was that Ethiopia had strong censorship with their music. So back in the day when he was making music, they couldn't have lyrics in it. So him and his band would improvise with their instrumentation to kind of express themselves and to like put a message in the music and get people to feel a certain way, you know, which was really beautiful because they couldn't use lyrics or words in their music. And I got to see him live at the Regent. It was the start of the summer. It was my first concert back since COVID, you know, and it was just so amazing. And it just reminded me how amazing live music was. And just like, I got to dance and I got to be in a room with people who love music just as much as I do. It was so fun. And then I got to see Gary Bartz and Theo Croker. I won tickets to Jazz is Dead before I started working there. It was like crazy. Like I won tickets to see them. So I had a bunch of really dope jazz shows that I got to see this year that were absolutely amazing. I got to see Milton Nascimento's farewell tour with Jazz is Dead. I got to film that show as well. I also got to see Os Mutantes, Brazilian psychedelic rock and tropicalia legends perform with Jazz is Dead. And I had such an amazing time with live shows because I got to be both a fan of the artists and also see how these shows are put together and like what it takes behind the scenes to create, you know, a iconic and historic moment, and like just to be a part of these historic moments. You know, in 10 years people are going to be looking back at this footage the same way that we look back on like performances of Miles Davis in 1969. People are going to look back at the Jazz is Dead footage of like, oh wow, Os Mutantes at this time, you know, like, so it's really just a blessing to have been able to see these legends because they're in their 80s, 70s, you know. So I've been very privileged this year in terms of concerts and live shows. And I realized that jazz is my favorite genre because of this. And jazz was always my favorite genre. But I didn't know until it clicked this summer. But I knew, but I didn't know. And it was like this whole like spiritual thing. But yeah, so now I want to talk about, finally, before we close out, albums that we missed and didn't really get a chance to listen to. Florence and the Machine, Toro y Moi, Earl Sweatshirt, Taylor Swift, Rina Sawayama, Protege, Saba, Sid, Coffee, Wizkid. I didn't get a chance to really listen to these artists this year, but I will be diving into their music because I love them, but you know, sometimes music slips away and you just don't have time. I always intended to listen to it, but I just, like, so much music came out and I got obsessed, and then Beyonce had me in a chokehold. It was hard to listen to anything else. So now that I'm finally free, I'm gonna explore some more of these artists. And with that said, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video, and for watching Nora's video, and for supporting us, and for just being amazing. And so let us know what your favorite artists, songs, albums, playlists, like what did you fall in love with this year? Who are some people you discovered this year? What songs did you rediscover? Just tell us in the comments below. Tell your friends if you liked the video, and I'll see you soon.